Welcome back. This is still the morning show here on Signature TV. It's 9:33 in the morning. It's a Tuesday, May 20, 2025. And today we're switching gears to a very, very interesting topic. The rising cases of human trafficking and other forms of violence in Nigeria. We have with us Dr. NNENNA ANOZIE. She's a legal practitioner. Good to have you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. Yeah.
How do you do?
I'm good, and how do you do too?
I am good. I'm good. Good to see you after a very long time.
Yeah.
I remember you from the gubernatorial elections in 2023.
2019.
2019,
Yeah,
apparently.
2019,
Oh, okay. You didn't do 2023.
No.
Why was that?
You just have to watch the palpitations and watch the environment. So politics is not something you just come out and you go in and all of that. So you have to calculate very well. So I guess it's not time. So
What did that teach you, that experience of being a Guber candidate in 2019?
yes, thank you for asking that. I tell people, and I think that's one of the reasons people don't actually venture into politics, because they fear failure, they fear all the challenges associated with politics, especially in Nigeria. But from my experience, I've learned a lot. I've gained a network of people who I can look up to, and I've also gained experience in human relationship. I've also delved more into the root cause of some of the challenges we have in election in Nigeria, which is rooted in poverty. A lot of our people are impoverished, and so during the election time, you see them being, you see the high class ones, the political elites, weaponizing poverty and using it as a tool to penetrate these people, these innocent people, and thereby making them just forget everything about values and going for money, going for immediate gain. So I've learned to now address these root causes by going, in fact, since 2019 till now, my major concern has been how to create awareness amongst these people, let them understand the importance of this politics to us, the importance of not selling your conscience, and then also the importance of wanting the best for this nation, kind of teaching them how to not just be selfish, because when you begin to collect things from politicians for the immediate solution, you are being selfish. You're not thinking about the future of your children. You are talking of unemployment. How will your children be employed when the politicians have bought you over, and by the time he's staying 4 years, he wants to recover? So it has taught me a lot. I've gained experience, I've gained friendship, I've gained a lot of network, I've gained recognition, because I know a lot of things I'm able to do now, and a lot of things that have happened, and the height I've attained today is as a result of that decision to run in 2019. So it was a wonderful experience that I wish everybody, and I thank God that, just like you said, why didn't I run in 2023? I started mentoring young ones, and by God's grace, I have a mentee who is elected in the state today.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is this the State House of Assembly?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So it's
On that Labour Party?
Yes. So
It seems I've seen that face somewhere, bro.
Yes. So,
fantastic.
So I think I won. I think I won in 2019. It's not just about going there to sit in the Lions building, but I won women. My coming out made them to know that, if this woman, and being young, can come out to contest for governorship. We are not talking about local government chairman or all of that. So a lot of them, the decision gave them a kind of courage to come out, and I think in 2023, a lot of women came out in major political parties to participate. Unfortunately, some of them didn't make it even to the primaries, but at least the interest came up. So it was a huge success for me, if you ask me.
Absolutely. I wish I could just continue with this topic, but I mean, we just have to, track back to the topic, which is the rising cases of human trafficking and other forms of violence. What do you think are the root causes of human trafficking? I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is poverty. I mean, making yourself available because you don't have enough, so you just have to get yourself out there somehow, somewhere, and then you get over the sea, and then you find out that where you were is actually even better. But beyond that, really, What do you think are the minds of those who practice human trafficking?
Okay, so I'm going to be speaking both from the traffickers and the people who are trafficked.
Absolutely.
You know, when you sit down in your house and you think of a way of making money, and the next thing that comes into your mind is to use your fellow human being to make that money, it shows that you're inhuman, you are wicked, you don't have conscience. Because I tell people, if not for selfishness, if not for that inhuman feelings, how would you think, how would you feel seeing your own child, your sister or your brother? And unfortunately, do you know some of these will also traffic their own?
Yeah.
So it shows the level of what word will I use now? It shows the level of inhumanity in humans. I don't know the level of wickedness, because you can't tell me it's poverty. We are all in this country together. We are all suffering the same thing, but we have not all gone to taken to trafficking. So why would you sit down and choose to go that route to make money? It's because you don't have conscience. You are wicked. You don't have the fear of God. You don't love your fellow human being. So don't tell me, don't even hide under poverty. And then you that is being trafficked. I remember back in the days, some of us grew up in the village with our grandmothers, our mothers in the village suffering. I remember going to secondary school, even living in the boarding house, but all these provisions and all of that we never had, but we managed somehow. We didn't take to the streets. We didn't take to prostitution. We didn't make ourselves vulnerable to these traffickers. So if you're hiding under poverty as a reason to be trafficked, it shows that you are not, Bible says, I want to quote the Bible, it says that godliness with contentment is great gain. You don't have the word of God. You are not content with what you have. You are greedy. Because somehow we are all trying to survive in this country. Even when the Japa syndrome started, I tell people, we must not all Japa. Because I at least have been privileged. I just came back from outside Nigeria on Tuesday. I've been to so many countries. There's nothing so special about these places you are going to. I'm telling you, there's nothing so special. The truth is that we don't just look around and see. The person that started sachet water, for instance, stood up one day and got that idea. And a lot of things. I got to one pack of abacha one day, and it was packaged like a noodle. Some of my younger children that couldn't cook, but because they could cook noodles, and this abacha was packaged in a noodle-like form, I brought it, and they would just come and open it before and how to cook it, everything was there. They started cooking. It was somebody's idea, and I learned that man is making so much money now, exporting those things out of the country. So why can't you sit down and think of how you can better your life as a person? We are all struggling. So don't hide under poverty. It just shows our level of lack of contentment, our level of greed, our level of selfishness, our level of inhumanity, wickedness, and lack of fear of God. That is why somebody will take to trafficking as a business. And then you that are like, though, why I don't even blame some victims sometimes, that some of them don't know they were going to be trafficked. So they promise them job, like these days of joblessness. You are promised job, you are promised to go and stay with your loved one, you are promised a greener pasture somewhere else. It's not even only abroad. Some people are trafficked from Enugu to another state for the purposes of exploitation, prostitution, and what have you. So when you don't know is a different thing. But when you already know and you just want to make yourself, a victim of trafficking, then you have yourself to blame. You can't hide under poverty, because we are all suffering in this Nigeria, but we are not all being trafficked. We have not all made ourselves available for trafficking.
Now, I really don't know. Do you think someone who is opportunity starved would see an opportunity and then want to think to themselves that maybe if they get overboard or maybe to other side, it will be better? Because like it or leave it, it's almost seems as if it is impossible to stop it. Because when there is someone who is willing, it's hard to stop them. The other day they said they caught some 10 or 20 ladies in one of Abuja, yes, in the airport. And some they said they caught in the hotel, that they were ready to leave, the country to Asian country, I think, whether Iran or India, as the case may be. So these things happen, and you think, whether is it moral decadence? Well, you said poverty, we should just inject poverty for some time, but the insatiable thought of wanting to go abroad, maybe the other side is greener, you know. You could say that is one of the things that is fulfilling it. But I wanted to think whether you feel that people willingly decide to be trafficked.
Charles, I think some people willingly want to be trafficked. They know what they're going in for. They will tell you, you are either going to do drugs or do prostitution, you are going there for business. And some people give into it. Don't people give into prostitution and drug trafficking? They do. So some people give into it, but there are also others who do not give into it. Those are the ones we can pity and say, okay, maybe because they don't know. But there's, you know, just like the economists will say, that human ones are insatiable. So there are people, even when you see them, they are even better off than you here in Nigeria, but they still want to go to somewhere else that they think is greener. So we are not totally excusing poverty, but we are saying that if we are raised well, I remember growing up too, the way my parents raised me, you can't, because you are hungry, see somebody's something and pick it up. You are taught not to steal. You are taught to be content with what you have. You are taught to, you know, be satisfied with whatever your parents, even when you are hungry and somebody offers you food, you will remember what, especially if your parents are there. And then even if they are not there, you still remember what they told you. That, don't collect something from somebody. Charles, we grew up with that training, with that value. So where has these values gone to? Where has this moral upbringing gone to? That somebody will offer you a business or a job that you know will hurt you, because you're hurting yourself when you're being trafficked, whether for hard labor, whether for prostitution, whether for anything illegal. You are harming yourself. People will be making money if it's in PG price on top of your head. They will be making money. They will make so much money, give you little. As I was coming back, I was in one of the airports. So I saw a lady, and I was telling my colleague that went with. I said, this lady looks like someone that is either being trafficked or running away from where she was trafficked. She said, why did I say? I said, you know, I'm a member of Enugu State Task Force. We have gone through some trainings. I said, look at the airport in a foreign place. She's wearing nets, that this wig nets that women wear before they wear their wig. She was looking tattered, and she was just sitting on her own. And I was like, this girl. I was almost pushed to go and ask her, what are you doing here? So such people, you see yourself, maybe when you get there, you don't even know what they were taking you there for. They've told you a lot of things, promised you heaven on earth, and you get there, you're seeing a different thing. So many men are coming in, going out, and they're making money from you, using you, having, you know, exploiting you sexually. So some of them who did not give in willingly will run away if they have their way. But some, you can't even run away. You have gone, you are gone. So I asked myself, where are the parents of these children? What happened? And you know, we live in a climate where when somebody says, you are going to abroad, don't tell anybody. You know, your village people, make your village people know, catch you say, they tell somebody, we are going to traveling abroad. So they will hide it. And those traffickers will tell you, don't tell anybody. So nobody will know in your family. The next thing we will hear is that we can't find trauma again. Chooks is no more. Charles is no more around. It's not your own Charles. It's no more around. But nobody. I say I have a relation for the past more than 30 years. We do not know his whereabouts. We were told that certain missionaries or so, because these traffickers can come in any disguise, in any form. They can come as church people. They can come as relatives, they can come as friends, they can come as neighbors. And they'll tell you, don't tell anybody. You know, this generation is wicked. If you tell them that your child is traveling, they can stop it and you cover it up. They take your child. And you see some of them are even being trafficked the wrong route, and they die on the road, on the sea, on the desert, and all of this. So it's a big challenge. Moral decadence is part of it, poverty is part of it, and lack of good home upbringing is part of it. It's part of not being satisfied with yourself. It's part of it. How are we all surviving? That is what you ask yourself. Why would you take to this kind of business or this kind of opportunity, as they call it, to make ends meet.
Let's talk about the organization, NAPTIP. How much do you think they're doing to help the situation?
Okay, so NAPTIP is trying their best. I'll give it to them, because there's even a project we are doing, STEEP project, where now we are trying to go to almost in Enugu State, to almost all the secondary school in Enugu State, because they also go through these children who are naive, they don't know their left from their right. Some of them are living with people and say, oh, you are living with somebody and is maltreating you, don't worry, I will take you to where you get good job and they will take care of you. And that child from school, some of them hang around schools. So we go to schools, we sensitize them. As a member of the task force, I tell them, we tell them, is our mandate from here, from this studio, I'm going to a secondary school in Enugu. And that's how our members in all over the state, secondary schools in the Enugu state, about 10 schools today, teaching them on how to identify human traffickers. How to identify them, what to do when you, because we have toll-free line, you get across to them and all of that. So awareness is very important, and that is part of what NAPTIP is doing. NAPTIP is also prosecuting offenders, and they also have shelter for victims who have been rescued and all of that. So they work in collaboration with NGOs, CSOs, and other agencies in ensuring that the society is aware of what is happening, how not to be trafficked, and where to report any incidents. I've had the occasion, in fact, because we do a lot of sensitization. One day, one of my sons traveling to Lagos called me at Holy Ghost Park. He said, in the night, and it was that day I knew that people are still planning the Lagos route in the night. So he called. I saw one lady with two women, elderly women, and that the way the lady was sitting, it was as if she was not comfortable traveling with them. This long and short story short. Do you know that finally I gave it for our police, because they acted swiftly when I called them in the night. Around this should be around 9 or 8, 9. They came in there and discovered that this girl was to be trafficked to Lagos, maybe from Lagos to somewhere else, we don't know. But that was how they rescued that girl. So both the task force people are working together with the NAPTIP in ensuring that at least the one that comes to our notice doesn't just go without getting enough help, if you like, intervention.
Tell us about this task force that you speak about. When was the inauguration, and what's your modus operandi?
Okay, so this task force has been in operation for more than 5 years, if I can remember. It's been there. Every state has a task force on human trafficking. We are attached to the NAPTIP. We work with them. Okay. So our operation is just to be able to report cases and if we find, we report and all of that, just like the normal task force. So if we are trained to also observe and identify possible traffickers and victims. So when we do, we know where to report, we know how to prosecute. We can arrest. Yes, we can arrest and then take to the next police station or to NAPTIP for prosecution.
Okay, interesting. Are there support systems for these people who have been trafficked, trafficked in persons? Because again, we always talk about how people are trafficked, where they're trafficked, and then when they are rescued, are there support systems? Because again, some of them would even be regretting even being rescued. That they would probably be
just like when they started removing all the beggars on the streets, you can keep them somewhere for rehabilitation and all. You see them run back and say, no, we prefer the street. So now, the little I know about that tip, they have a shelter. Okay. Right? So they have a shelter where they keep these children, for some of them temporarily, before they are reunited to their families or well-wishers and all of that. They also have skills they teach them, free skills training and all of that, because I know I'm part of the system, so I know they teach them. Some of them are in school, they put them in school, they just try to find a way to assist them when they don't just rescue them and keep them somewhere and say stay there. No, they are trained, they build their capacity, they also counsel them, give them what we call psychosocial support. because some of them, it's an insane person, someone who is not well well informed or something, that can just wake up one morning and decide that I want to go into, I want to be trafficked. So we try to reorientate them, teach them the values of life, that life is not just like that. You don't need to take to this route for you to be able to make it in life. So we counsel them. We have counselors. They give them legal aid for those who need one. They also we have the medical team there too that see to their health, and also that's why they collaborate with CSOs. There are so many CSOs who are into empowerment programs like teaching free skills and all of that. So that's how they do before they reintegrate them into the society.
That's nice, because again, integration is very important, because with a situation where you rescue somebody and then they start regretting that you rescued them, they would have been doing something more. And I'm just thinking whether we have something in that direction to help them reintegrate them back into the society.
Trafficking is a federal agency, so the federal government is, I believe, is doing their best to support them to ensure that victims are well taken care of.
What is the collaboration like between Nigeria and the international community, especially for movement of people across borders? Because again, these people who are engaged in this kind of thing are people who are highly placed sometimes, and they are making money. It's a way of making money for money. So do you think there's some sort of collaboration that is existing between Nigeria and other countries to check these things? Are there enough?
I think there is, but whether they are enough is now the challenge, because like each time I travel out of the country and see the rigorous checking, searching and all of that, I wonder how people traffic, how people smuggle drugs, and because you will remove everything, remove this. I say, wow, do these people? So I told myself that, in fact, it was even the case, leave that thing. They must be working in collaboration
with somebody within,
within. So I'm sure, because that's why you see them deporting some from time to time. So I think there's that relationship between Nigeria and the other foreign countries. But whether what they are doing is enough is where the problem is, because I think there's need for a very, very strict or stricter, if there's something like that, measures that should be put in place to ensure that our children are not trafficked. You know that the most vulnerable in this trafficking is usually women and children.
Yeah.
They are the most vulnerable when it comes to human trafficking. Children are trafficked for hard labors and all of that. Women are trafficked for prostitution and other illicit businesses. So I think the other countries, but when we are even talking about this trafficking, it's not only outside. I say it within our community.
Circle.
Somebody can be brought from village to Enugu, and that person is trafficked.
Yeah.
For the purposes of either prostitution, hard labor, and all of that, exploitation of all kinds. So, what are we even doing
within ourselves
to checkmate this? People, in fact, when I put up the advert, the flyer that was shared to me from your station, somebody said, "Hey, Nebiko said this thing very well on TV, because a lot of our girls are being trafficked. A lot of that. In fact, some I started getting feedbacks that it is real with us here in Enugu, here in Nigeria. You understand? Not to talk of those that have been trafficked abroad. So that synergy has to be there for whether locally now or internationally, for us to have proper checkmating of these things, because the truth is that it will continue to happen.
Well, I did the same reasons for those who are trafficked abroad and those who are trafficked locally. I did the same reasons of poverty.
The reason is to have a better life, because you are in the village where you don't see light often, no internet, and you are seeing some things online that life is, they will show you good road, show you. So some people are just excited to come and see good road. They are excited to come and see beautiful environment. And that is why we are even asking the government, you can still develop the rural areas. There are certain amenities they will have, and the urban areas will become less attractive to them. Do you get? So, but when you bring everything, some of us who work in some of these rural areas, we try to push some things to them. Yeah, on Saturday I was at one community in Kano East, in Burumbu. to be precise. What did we take there? We took entrepreneurship training to their youth. Let them not be seeing it only in TV, in Facebook and all of that. Let's bring it down to them. So if we can begin, government can take development to the grassroots. So those things they are trying to come up to see abroad or even in the township will become less attractive to them. So that is it. Somebody can be trafficked from the village to Enugu, just Enugu here, and he comes there, the person is into drugs, the person is into prostitution, the person is into child labor, and so many other form of exploitation.
Right. Okay, let's leave it here. Dr. NNENNA ANOZIE is a legal practitioner, giving us a fantastic insight into human trafficking and the rising cases and other forms of violence. I mean, we would have actually loved to speak on other issues, but because of time, we have to leave it here. But I'm sure that she would oblige us the next time we would invite her. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.